Zdzisław Beksivsky never fit the image of a tortured genius. He was quiet, lived in a modest block of flats, listened to classical music, and rarely left his hometown. He hated giving titles to his paintings, hated when people tried to explain them. "Don't search for meaning," he once said. "I only try to capture the unconscious." But shadows haunted his world. As a boy in wartime Poland, he grew up near a concentration camp. He once picked up an unexploded shell. It tore off part of his finger. Death and horror surrounded him, even before he understood what they meant. Later, those memories bled into his canvases. Twisted bodies, crucifixes, skeletal towers, and skies the sickly color of poison gas. His art looked like visions from another world, yet they were rooted in the traumas of his own. Beksivsky experimented with sculpture and photography, but painting became his true language. His canvases were dreamscapes of torment, populated by faceless figures and vast, ruined cathedrals. Viewers often recoiled, yet they could never look away. His private life unraveled like one of his own paintings. He recorded everything in his video diaries. His mother's death, then his mother-in-law's, his wife Zofia slipping into depression. His only son Tomasz was a radio host who introduced Poland to Western rock, but he carried despair inside him. Tomasz survived a plane crash and promised he would live as long as his mother did. But when Zofia's heart failed, Tomasz followed his father, found him on Christmas Eve. Zdzisław buried his grief in his art. The canvases grew darker, more haunted, as if he were painting his way through hell itself. Then, in 2005, a young man came to his apartment asking for money. Beksivsky refused. That night, the boy returned and stabbed him 17 times. When it was over, the Beksivsky family line was gone. Only the paintings remained, visions of death, suffering, and silence, as if he had been preparing for this ending all along.
On November 25, 1988, a 17-year-old girl named Junko Furuta was riding her bike home from her part-time job. She was smart, hardworking, and had dreams for her future. But that night, she crossed paths with the wrong people. Junko was tricked and taken captive by 4 boys she went to school with. For the next 44 days, she disappeared from the world. Her family searched desperately, but when police knocked on the very house where she was being held, they never checked inside. That mistake would cost Junko her life. On January 4, 1989, her nightmare came to an end. Her body was found later, sealed inside a concrete drum. She was only 17 years old. Her story shocked Japan, but the boys responsible served shockingly short sentences. To this day, many believe justice was never truly served. Junko Furuta's name has become a reminder of the importance of speaking up, protecting victims, and never forgetting those whose voices were stolen too soon.
There's a war in eastern Congo you won't often see on the news. The rebel group M23, backed by Rwanda, has seized huge parts of North and South Kivu, including the city of Goma. Officially, Rwanda denies involvement, but UN investigators say Rwanda provides weapons, training, and even soldiers to M23. Why? Because this region is rich in gold, coltan, and other minerals the world depends on. Life for civilians has collapsed. Entire towns have been emptied. Hundreds of thousands forced to flee. Those who remain face checkpoints, forced taxes, and violence. UN reports document killings, torture, disappearances, and gang rapes. Banks are shut. Money is worthless. People survive on scraps. And yet, the fighting continues because the minerals keep flowing, and outside powers keep looking away. This isn't just Congo's problem. The minerals from this war zone end up in phones, laptops, and electric cars around the world. The question is, how much longer can the world ignore what's happening in the Congo? In Phnom Penh, Cambodia, there's a place the locals still whisper about. Tuol Sleng Prison, known as S21. During the Khmer Rouge regime in the late 1970s, this ordinary school was transformed into a nightmare. More than 14,000 men, women, even children, were brought here, accused of being traitors. Most never left alive. The classrooms became torture chambers. Windows were covered in barbed wire so no one could escape, not even by jumping. Prisoners were forced to sign false confessions. before being sent to the killing fields. O'Day S21 is a museum. Tourists walk through silent halls lined with haunting photographs, faces of those who never came back. Locals say if you stay too long in the dark rooms, you can still hear chains clinking, or the faint cries of voices begging to be remembered. Jimmy Savile was once the man everyone in Britain seemed to love. He was on television every week, hosted famous shows, raised millions for charity, and even received honors from the Queen herself. People saw him as a hero. But behind that cheerful smile, there was a secret. For decades, whispers followed him, odd behavior, things that didn't feel right. No one dared to speak out. He was too powerful, too connected. When he died in 2011, the country mourned. Tributes poured in. Statues, flowers, praise everywhere. But then, survivors began to come forward. One voice, then another, then hundreds. The truth shattered everything. Jimmy Savile had used his fame, his charities, even hospitals and children's homes, to prey on the vulnerable. Investigators uncovered hundreds of cases. They called him one of the most prolific offenders the UK had ever seen. The smiling man who once shook hands with royalty was exposed as a monster hiding in plain sight. And the most chilling part, he got away with it until the day he died. On the night of December 2nd, 1984, a poisonous cloud leaked from a pesticide plant in Bhopal, India. Thousands of people tried to flee, but many never made it. They say the city has never been the same since. Locals whisper that if you walk near the ruins of the old factory, you can still hear the coughing, the gasps of people who ran but couldn't escape. Children claim to see shadowy figures playing in the streets at night, figures that vanish when you get too close. Residents talk about sudden burning in their eyes, as if the gas still lingers in the air, even decades later. One man swore he saw a crowd gathered at midnight outside the factory gates. He thought it was some kind of protest. But as he stepped closer, the crowd dissolved into smoke. The factory is abandoned, locked, rusting away. Yet sometimes, the lights inside flicker back on. People say it isn't electricity. It's the restless souls of that night, still trapped, still searching for air. Bhopal isn't just a tragedy. It's a city haunted by its own history. I was working the late shift at Disney World as a mechanic, checking the rides in Fantasyland. The park was empty, and the eerie stillness of the night settled in. I'd always heard stories about strange things happening after dark, but I brushed them off as just rumors. Until this one night, I was walking by the It's a Small World ride, doing my final checks, when I heard soft singing. The ride had been shut down for hours, yet the familiar chorus of children's voices echoed through the pavilion. It's a small world, after all. The lights were on. The animatronics were supposed to be powered down as they were undergoing maintenance. My heart pounded as I stepped inside, the song growing louder, unnervingly off-key. I glanced at the dolls. They were all still, frozen in their mechanical poses. But something wasn't right. I felt watched. Suddenly, the dolls began to turn their heads toward me, their eyes blinking. One by one, their grinning faces locked onto me. The singing stopped. Silence. Then I heard a whisper from just over my shoulder. "Come, play with us." I ran. But as I fled, the song It's a Small World started up again, louder than I have ever heard it. I haven't worked there since.
July 18, 1984, San Isidro, California. A small community near the Mexican border where life felt ordinary, almost sleepy. At 4 p.m., families packed into a McDonald's for dinner. Children laughed, people ordered food, and nothing seemed out of place. Then, the doors opened and in walked 41-year-old James Huberty. He wasn't there for food. Armed with a shotgun, a pistol, and a rifle, he raised his weapons and started firing. Panic ripped through the restaurant. For 77 minutes, San Isidro was frozen in fear. Police surrounded the building, but every second inside meant more bloodshed. When it finally ended, 21 people were dead and 19 wounded, the largest mass shooting the U.S. had ever seen at that time. What made it more terrifying? Huberty had no clear motive. Hours earlier, he had told his wife he was going hunting for humans. The McDonald's was demolished. Today, a memorial stands there, a silent reminder of a summer evening that turned into pure horror.
During World War II, in the frozen wilderness of Manchuria, Japan operated a facility so secret that most soldiers didn't even know it existed. Officially, it was called the Epidemic Prevention and Water Purification Department. In reality, it was Unit 7. Behind its walls, doctors and scientists carried out some of the most horrifying experiments in history, all on living human beings. Prisoners were exposed to deadly diseases. Some were frozen alive to study frostbite. Others were dissected without anesthesia, their screams echoing through the halls. The goal: to create new biological weapons at the cost of thousands of innocent lives. When the war ended, the truth of Unit 731 was almost buried. Many of its leaders escaped trial, trading their research to foreign governments in exchange for immunity. Today, the remains of the compound are a museum in Harbin, China. Visitors walk its halls in silence, where the shadows of victims seem to linger. Unit 731 stands as a chilling reminder of how far human cruelty can go when science is twisted into horror.
They call it the Nutty Putty Cave, west of Utah Lake. It once drew thousands of visitors, Boy Scouts, college kids, thrill seekers. The walls oozed a strange clay, and its tunnels were so tight they were nicknamed things like the birth canal. But the cave had a reputation. 6 people had gotten trapped inside before. Rescued, yes, but each time, rescuers warned, one day, someone won't make it out. That day came in November 2009. 26-year-old John Jones, a young father and medical student, went exploring with his brother. He thought he'd found the birth canal, but he was wrong. Instead, he crawled into an uncharted passage, just 10 inches wide, 18 inches high, smaller than a washing machine door. When he exhaled, his chest compressed enough to squeeze deeper. But when he breathed back in, he was stuck. Upside down, 400 feet inside, 100 feet below the surface. Rescuers tried everything: ropes, pulleys, even drilling through solid rock. But nothing worked. Hours passed, his voice grew weaker, his body shutting down. After 27 hours trapped, John took his final breath. The cave was sealed forever, with his body still inside. Today, Nutty Putty remains his tomb, a reminder of how curiosity can lead to places you can never escape.